We have A.O. Birmingham, who drives the truck, and then the two firefighters in the back. We have Firefighter Jeanette and Firefighter Donahue, and they're going to be the ones using the cutters and spreaders, also known as Jaws of Life today.
Haven't heard that term before. Cutters and spreaders.
Yes. Okay. So once they pull them up, I'll kind of show you. One of them we use to either pinch or spread metal apart, and the other one is actually strictly used for cutting.
All right. Can you tell us about the demonstration that we're going to see? How this might, demonstrate a real-life scenario?
You bet. This car is actually not much that bad, which is good for us. It makes it real easy, and we can get the doors off. So what we're going to show you is all the safety things that need to happen. And safety things not only for the people inside the car, but for us as firefighters, we got to make sure that we're not going to get injured trying to help the person that's inside the car.
How often do you have to use the cutters and the spreaders, the Jaws of Life? Is this something that uses on almost a weekly, daily basis?
With the way they're building cars now, they're a lot safer.
That's good to know.
It is. But we definitely do go through every month and use them almost.
Yeah.
So if you guys are ready, we can get started.
Let's do it.
Okay. So, like I said, the first thing we want to worry about today is safety. So, the car stabilization, making sure that the car doesn't move on us. If it's maybe tilted on edge or something, we got to figure out how to stabilize the car. One of the first things we're going to do is pop the tires.
Well, what is leaking gas too? Is that something we need to worry about? Is that part of the stabilization process?
Yeah, you bet. When we go to a car accident, an engine will also respond with us. An engine is the one that carries the water for us, so they'll put a hose line on the ground just in case there is gasoline that is coming out.
Okay, when you mentioned stabilizing the car, they put some blocks behind the tires. What's the importance of stabilizing the vehicle?
Well, a lot of times, if you crash, your car's still in drive, or it may have gone into neutral, and we don't want this car moving on us. So we get it down onto its rims, and then we use what Firefighter Donahue is holding. We call them step chocks, and what that's going to do is hold the car in place.
And notice to use the device, it's obviously got a spike on it. Boom, it just popped the tires instantly. And steel belted tires, not easy to do, but that thing just didn't hold. Yeah, instant hold.
That's one of our forcible entry tools for getting into houses or commercial buildings, but it doubles as a tire problem.
Okay, so there's chocks or blocks behind the tires, something under the car as well. And because you're not sure how the car may move as you're using the Jaws of Life.
That's correct. So now that we got the car stabilized and we feel that we're safe to start taking care of the person inside of the car, the first thing we're going to do, just for our safety on this demonstration, is we're going to take the hood off of the car. And the reason we're taking the hood off the car is because we noticed the battery's still connected. Most likely the battery's dead because it's a junk car, but we can't take that chance. And with the battery being active, it gives the airbags that haven't deployed in there still a chance of popping off. So we want to disconnect that battery.
Like you talked about, we're just going to take the hood off the car. Every car is different. You probably have to know a little about some of the different cars and vehicles and structurally what's under that hood. I mean, some maybe Jeeps, whatever, may have roll bars, but others may present some unique challenges to taking off the hood.
Yeah, definitely. No car is the same. We have new electric cars, which pose a huge challenge to us because we don't see them, and they're fairly new on the market. I mean, I've only been around about 10 years, but honestly, we don't get that many accidents with electric cars, so those batteries pose a big threat to us. So we do practice this a lot at junkyards. They're nice enough to allow us to cut out cars, so we get a feel for how cars are laid out and how to take them apart like we are right now.
The reason we're starting with the hood, if there's a person in the car, and you probably stabilize them, hopefully medically, if they're still in there, I would think you would start trying to get them out first, but you're starting with the hood. Is there a reason for that?
We're only starting with the hood for the demonstration. Normally we would be going to the doors and working on getting the person out, but this is more, we're just doing it for our safety reasons, and we want to show you guys how we can get a hood off pretty quick. But normally what would happen is we each have a role. So my role as captain is I'm the safety. I stand back and I see what's going on, I see the big picture, because when you're working with these tools, you're focused on your tool and what that tool's doing and how it's affecting the car. So the two guys, no, not much. So what they just did is there's two hinges on each hood. And all they did was they pinched a little bit to get a access space, and then they just cut the hinges. So
we have a wonderful commute driving up Highway 50 every day to get to Cal OES. And this past week, one of our coworkers came in and said there was a pretty bad accident right in front of him. What do we as citizens need to know if we come across something like this? And you guys either are there or aren't there, what do we need to know?
So the biggest thing we ask is that if you see a car accident, you know, obviously call 911 to get things started. But one of the hardest things we do is once the car accident's been reported, and which slows us down on getting there, and we have something called the golden hour. If we don't get a person out in the golden hour, their chances of survival drop excessively. And so we want to get there and start working on this car as quick as possible. So move over to the right, and I know it's hard to do, but try not to be a looky loo.
So you definitely feel like you are, well, the seconds mean the difference perhaps between life and death, and that the clock is ticking, and you really feel it is a race against time to get that person out of the car and use the jaws of life as quickly as possible on the car.
Yeah, definitely. So now we got the hood off, we got the battery disconnected, so basically for this demonstration we're feeling pretty safe right now. We still have to watch out for the airbags, because even with the battery disconnected, those airbags can discharge. So what we're going to do now, just to show you guys the difference in windows, if you don't know, we're going to show you how we break windows and how different windows break in different ways. We do this because in order to get access to the car, or to the person inside the car, a lot of times we can't get in through the door, so we have to get access to them. So we'll break a window where we can send a firefighter in. We can send a firefighter in and cover that person with one of these tarps that you see on the ground. Usually we don't use it to put our equipment on, we use it to cover patients and protect them from glass or metal that might be flying.
But one direct hit took out, I thought, okay, it's going to make a big crack, and then you'd smash the whole window up. It was just one swing, and the whole window was gone.
Yeah, that's correct. The windows on the side, on the driver's and the passenger doors, they're just quick glass like you have in your house. They just shatter. Now, we'll show you the front. Totally different window. It's a laminated window that will not shatter like that. I know the movies all show them shattering and all, but you'll see when we break it, we have to actually chop through it and cut it, because there's a piece of material in between the two layers of glass that actually holds the glass together and sticks the glass to that material so it won't go flying on you.
We talk about great jump cars to practice on. How often do you and your guys practice this scenario?
You know, we got a lot of different exercises we need to practice. So cutting on cars, we probably do every 3 months.
I know this is a very simple question to ask. I know the answer is so key. When you roll up onto an accident like this and you see someone who is wearing a seatbelt as opposed to who is not wearing a seatbelt, can you talk about the difference?
Yeah, you bet. I know you guys hear it, especially for you kids. You know, seatbelts save lives every day. The worst accidents we go on are the ones where people aren't wearing seatbelts. Yeah. And even though that front window may be laminated, people can fly right through that thing. Or you'd be even surprised when a car rolls over. You go out the sunroof, you go out the side windows. Without a seatbelt on, your odds of survival are way down.
I think that's one of those things that most people really just don't maybe appreciate the physics as well as you do, who have seen so many of these, of what happens in a rollover or a front-end collision, how easily without a seatbelt that you can be ejected from that vehicle.
But yeah, it's definitely an easy thing to do. We see it too often, where just a seatbelt would have saved somebody's life. So now that it looks like we got all the windows taken, except for this one. Hang on. You want to take this window? So what we're going to do now is we're going to show you how we pop a door off. And I know it sounds like it's an easy thing to do by popping a door off, but depending on how the accident happened and how crumpled the car is, some doors are really difficult to pop off. This one would be really easy because there's no damage to that side. So what they did is they went to the fender well and they created a pressure point right there. They squeezed down on that, which caused a crease in the door. And that allows us to get our jaws of life or our spreaders in there and create a gap. And what we're trying to get to is the hinge in there. Once we get access to the hinge, they're going to switch over and use these cutters on the ground, and they're going to cut that hinge right off of there, which will allow the door to pop open.
And a lot of times in an accident, the way a car is crunched, the doors, even if maybe physically they don't have a lot of damage, they're not coming open. They are just wedged together, and the only way to get them open is with the jaws.
Definitely, yeah. So by using both tools together, we have one person on one on the other. They each work together just to find the best way to pop this thing open, because the cars in the up by the wheel, it's held on by hinge, and on the back your lock locks around something called a nader pin, which holds that. I mean, it is a solid pin, and it takes a little bit of work for our cutters to cut through. So that's why we're going at the hinge first to make a tri point on that nader pin.
And all of these cutters operate off a relatively small generator. Again, is that an air compressor that's doing that? What are you generating to power the jaws?
So it's just hydraulic fluid inside our generator, and all these jaws, the cutters, the spreaders, jaws life, they're all just activated off a hydraulic oil, basically.
And has that technology changed for you over the years? I remember years ago, maybe the first time I saw the jaws, like they were enormous. It seems like some of this equipment has gotten smaller, maybe even more effective for you.
Yeah, definitely the generators have gotten smaller and lighter. They used to take 2 people to carry. Now it's heavy, but we can get 1 person to carry. The hoses are becoming more manageable. The tools are becoming lighter. I mean, the tools before used to weigh over 80 pounds each, and for us to try and handle them is a difficult thing.
We talked about the importance of wearing seat belts and what that means for you guys when you roll up on the scene. I want to touch on another very important subject as well, but alcohol-related accidents, what you guys see, and just the safety message that we all need to keep in mind.
Well, alcohol and cars don't mix. With this day and age, with Uber and Lyft, all those options out there, it just doesn't make sense that we still see a high rate of accidents caused by drunk drivers out there. And that's where a lot of the damage we've had in the last couple of years, walkway drivers from alcohol, being caused by alcohol. As you can see, they're getting the door off now. There's a lot of cables out there that they got to cut through, and now they're going to bend it open and go to the nader pin.
So we do have a great group of people here watching this live. I also want to give a shout out. We've got a lot of people watching us live on Facebook right now. You see the cameras moving around. We're broadcasting live on our Cal OES Facebook page. So for those of you who are watching us live on Facebook, I want to let you know that we are in Old Sacramento, kind of the north end of Old Sacramento. This is our 13th annual Day of Preparedness. Great vendors down here today, great demonstrations as you were watching, and you are welcome to come down and join us. We'll be here until 2 o'clock. It is completely free, a great family fun event. Live face painting, live demonstrations. We still got the river demonstration coming up. So for those of you watching us on Facebook, come down and join us in Old Sacramento until 2 o'clock. I'll let you get back to describing now what's happening.
Okay, so as you can see, getting a door off isn't easy, even with it not being crumpled up. It takes a little bit of work, precision. Those tools are big, and we're trying to create space to get to what we need to get to. Without being able to see what they're doing over there, it's kind of hard, I'm guessing. But yeah. So they're creating they're spreading the space to the nader pin, which I was telling you guys about. They weren't able to get it by prying the door open from the other side if they didn't have the access, and that's something we run into once in a while. So we can't, when we show up, my job is to set a game plan, and I get these guys going on the first game plan. But then my job is to start looking at the next couple of plans, the next couple of moves if the first one doesn't work.
Let me remind you what's coming up next at noon right here on the main stage. We're going to have a kids dance for your life vest. So we're going to have kids come up on stage. Listen, you don't need to be a talented dancer. Trust me when I say that. You don't need to have any kind of talent. Just come up here and have some fun for a few minutes, and we'll be passing out life vests. The dart demonstration on the river will be happening at 12:30, so we'll ask you to go to the river for that. That'll be immediately followed by the Metro helicopter fire demo over the river that will be sucking up water from the river and dropping that down. And then learn how to sandbag with the California Conservation Corps coming up at 12:15. All of that is coming up in the next few minutes.
All right, so we're going to take this door off so people on this guy's side can see what we're doing. We're doing it a different way. That one we attacked from the hinge side. This one we're attacking from the nader pin side. So All they did is they pinched the door in the middle, which creates a little gap, and then we take